I get that it's the Los Angeles Lakers. I understand his story. I get what comes along with the purple and gold and the fact that they have LeBron James there. But like I firmly, and this is me as a basketball player. I know we will talk about LA because LA is one of the biggest markets there is in the country and in the world. LeBron James is probably the biggest superstar in the world, or he's in that debate, right?
Sure, he's in the room.
I much rather, as a basketball fan, talk about the Sacramento Kings than talk about the Lakers.
I'd rather talk about the Milwaukee Bucks,
too.
too.
Are more impressive to me this year with what they've been able to put together with DeMontis Sabonis, with De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk and company, what they've been doing, how they've been talking, game against the Clippers. Like,
I know.
They are a team that deserves my attention and my time more so than a team like LeBron and the Lakers, who I still think even after the moves with D'Lo and Malik Beasley and company, I still thought they would have a chance to be like a 7 or 8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's where realistically we had them. And now with LeBron James being out, right, if that's several weeks to foot soreness with where his usage rate is, playing the second most minutes he has in his Los Angeles Laker career, 37 minutes per game at 38 years old. Like, the foot thing is a massive thing.
Right.
Because he initiates their offense. He makes everything easier for Anthony Davis, for Dennis Schroeder, for Rui Hachimura, right? For all these additive pieces, Austin Reeves. You take him away, now as a defense, I'm saying, oh, it's only you, Anthony Davis? Oh, I'm going to throw shade. There's going to be somebody shading you every place you go. You're going to see 2, 3, multiple defenders. Oh, and now everybody else has to score 40. And there's no D'Lo, too. He's still not playing. So this moves them far away from the playoff conversation, in my opinion.
I can't wait to see what the future is going to look like, because the further and further they get away from being a championship contender, there's going to have to be some very interesting decisions that have to be made. Not just by LeBron James, but maybe as the Lakers organization. Because the adage is always true. If you're in the middle in professional sports, then you're nowhere. If you're not starting or blowing it up to at least build a baseline to get back to where you are, or if you're not at the top contending for championships, if you're in the middle, you are in the hinterlands. You're in wasteland. And that's the last place that a guy like LeBron James wants to be, because he's there now with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's been there ever since they won the championship. That second year he was in L.A. and everybody was in the bubble, even though there was a while there where people didn't want to be there. So now if you're the Lakers, what are you going to do about the future? Because when he comes back from this injury, it's going to be too late to your point, it's going to be too late for them to do anything in this regular season to have any kind of impact. You're right. You got Sacramento, you got Denver, you got Memphis. If Golden State gets healthy, you got the Clippers. If the Clippers stay healthy, I think, to me, they have the best coach in the Western Conference in Ty Lue. You got Milwaukee, you got Boston, you got Philly in the East. You got other teams that are more championship contenders that you're going to have to deal with if you're the Lakers. So whenever he comes back, it's going to be too late this year. But what about next year? Do you pay the luxury tax, go after Kyrie Irving, and think that's going to happen?
Yes.
But does that make LeBron James and Anthony Davis any healthier?
You saw the way they adapt each other at the All-Star. Yes, you go for that relationship.
He's got his eyes there.
Yeah,
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, and LeBron's focused there too, because that's another ball handler that can take pressure off of him, and it's another person that can initiate the offense, which is what this team needs. Like, all the teams LeBron James has played on, has won championships, he's had somebody else to help initiate the offense, whether that's D. Wade or whether that was Kyrie Irving. I mean, even in the bubble, they had me. People look over Alex Caruso. Like, and I know it's not a name that's going to jump up, but what he brought to the table defensively, KCP, what he's brought to the team defensively too, you lost a lot of your identity when you let those pieces go. And now you're trying to ask other guys to do that. Can't do it at the same clip.
Especially that age, when it comes to LeBron James, especially that age.
You have LeBron James for another year. LeBron James goes down.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis has played 36 minutes 3 years ago, 36 games. Last year, 40 games. This year, 37 games. The real question is, what do you do with AD?
Okay.
Because I'm not. I don't know what the answer is, Freddie.
What do you think the answer should be? What would you do if you're Rob Pelinka?
I would like to trade him, but I'm not sure what trade compensation I would get for Anthony Davis. Because everybody's going to say he's injury prone. He's apt to being injury prone. So that decreases his value overall. So, like, you made your commitment to him. Can you add additive pieces around? If you can get a Kyrie Irving, if you get a Bradley Beal, if you can get dynamic guards, yes, I think you have to go in that direction.
Good luck trying to do that, Anthony Davis. as talented as he is, and we know what kind of numbers that he can put up, we know what kind of skill set that he has, but that lack of availability or the potential murky waters that is, that if you're bringing an Anthony Davis to your team, you're really hoping that you can just bathe him somewhere where he can just be totally injury-free for the majority of a regular season. And that's not going to happen based on the previous track record that we've seen for a guy that, as great as he is, more often than not, he's not going to be there instead of being there.
Me and my boys were talking about this the other day, a couple guys who play overseas and in the league, and we said we need to cut if he were healthy out of our lexicon, out of our vernacular. Because we use it way too much. Well, if he was healthy, okay. But it gets to a certain point where you look back at a player's track record and you say, like, what is the durability factor here? Like, this year he was durable for 80% of the games. Okay. And then next year it drops to 30. Wait, is it what's the average? Is the average 35, 40%?
Right.
If that's so, I know that the talent is worth this money, but I need the talent to translate and be available on the court, and I would question that around Anthony Davis.
If anything, an injury that should get more play is Giannis Antetokounmpo of Milwaukee, because if he's compromised, that really allows Boston to be more of a threat to get out of the East. And
Opens
maybe
up the door for Philly, too.
I was going to say that open the door for Philly or maybe somebody else in the East, but there's always that one team that can make a run that can get to close to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. But either way, when it comes to LeBron and AD and the near-far future, stay tuned. What kind of hot sauce do you think Kyrie Irving is going to have when it comes to thinking about the Lakers once this season with Dallas is over?
The only chance I see Kyrie Irving coming to the Lakers, because he would need to take a significant pay cut.
Okay.
Because they can't pay him the max, because they wouldn't be able to fill out the roster in the hard cap, okay, would be the divine Holy Spirit of Kobe Bryant. That would be the only reason why I would see Kyrie Irving willing to take a pay cut at this stage of his career to become a Laker, is to take the mantle from LeBron James on an organization that was once held by his beloved mentor and all of our dear friends in Kobe Bryant. It's the only reason.
Well, I didn't think about that.
It's the only reason. The only reason. Unless, LA, the lifestyle, and if Kai wanted that. I think it's more realistic, frankly, to see Kai staying in Dallas, because Dallas is light years closer to winning a championship than the Lakers are. Lakers are closer to a rebuild than I feel like the Lakers are to a championship.
That's fair and accurate.
And Dallas will be able to pay him. And by the way, you're thinking about how do you build out a roster with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving and some other pieces in the West that gives you an extended runway, other than LeBron James wanting to join Bronny in a year now, and you have Anthony Davis, who is talented but has proven to you over the course of his career that his durability isn't where you would need it to be.
I got something, Andrew, I want to ask you about that Kyrie Irving staying in Dallas, situated Luka Doncic. First things first, Kendrick in South Carolina wants to win on LeBron's injury in the Lakers' future at 888-729-3776. Kendrick from the Palmetto State, what you got?
Hello?
Hey, Kendrick, go ahead.
What's up, Kendrick?
What's going on, Jay?
What's poppin'?
What's going on, Sauce Freddy?
Hot Sauce Freddy, there you go.
I appreciate that,
Hot
brother.
Sauce Freddy.
Everything is good. Kendrick, what you got for us?
Yeah, my question was for Jay. Did I hear you say load management was the reason that LeBron got hurt?
No, I said, how does it make you think about load management for a guy that's playing 40 minutes a night at the age of 38 to keep his team in playoff contention? Does it make you think differently about it?
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you said load management was the reason he got hurt. But my second question is, like, far as load management go, I know you say you're a big fan of the game and you love to go to games and whatnot, and you get upset when players like Tatum or whoever's not in the game. But, you can't – the fans look at y'all differently when y'all make comments like that, because, you can't compare y'all situation into, the average regular Joe. So, sometimes fans get angered when we hear – celebrities or whatnot make comments like that.
So, that's a really interesting point, Kendrick,
really
and I'm glad you brought it up. So just to let you know, Kendrick, I've been on both sides of this, okay? And it gives me a unique perspective. Like, I've been an NBA player, and then I also came back after my career was over and worked at a job where I made $40,000 a year and was doing a lot of grunt work, carrying my own equipment, like working. Now, I'm not saying I was a guy working in construction or things. I have friends that have worked in that from Jersey.
Right.
Nobody's comparing that.
Right.
Workloads are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I get the everyday person that is trying to make ends meet and the things they have to go through in order to pay for an NBA ticket.
Right.
One of our producers tonight is going to the Bucks game to go see the Nets play the Bucks. Spend an absurd amount of money, and now he's not going to get a chance to see Giannis play. Now he's not going to get a chance to see Kevin Durant play with the Nets or Kyrie Irving or James Harden, whereas a year ago he was thinking about this game very differently. And I hear Anthony Edwards say, I don't know why, guys, that's great, young fella. You're in your second year. That's great. But when you start getting into year 8, year 9, year 10, where you play it over, and it's just not those games. Like, you're training all year long. And I hear what people say, well, you go back to the 70s and 80s, and guys they just played through it. They had no other choice but to do that. And now you're sitting there, and a lot of times the fans are the ones criticizing the players. I'm like, no, criticize the system. Because technology is also telling the teams, hey, if I need my players to be ready when the postseason comes around, maybe the optimal games we want him to play is 61, 62. And don't sleep that there are conversations about this for players at the beginning of the year where they say, okay, here's a back-to-back. We want you to take that second night off on the back-to-back. We don't, because then we have 3 games in 5 nights. We don't want you to push yourself. You're also coming off injury. So, like, it's also baked into the schedule from the team perspective, but it feels like the players are the ones, Freddie, that get all the flack about load management.
Well, you know why? Because money clouds people's judgment. People see the money that professional athletes make, and they will love to be in that situation, but they know they're never going to be in that situation. So they think, well, I'm spending my hard-earned money, relatively speaking, to see you guys play, and you're not going to be there. I'm feeling let down. I'm feeling some kind of way as a fan. They've allowed, not everybody, and I don't want to make this a blanket statement, but the majority of people allow that kind of money, those kind of finances, to cloud their judgment about what load management. Why do you guys? These are the same people a lot of times that will take a day off from work because they don't feel like going in. And if you look at them and say, oh, you load management today, I guarantee you got to put your hands up because they don't want to hear that. Because they think I'm working a lot harder at my job and not making the kind of money that you guys are supposed to be doing. Why can't you put it out there? You can't compare 2 different disciplines when it comes to a power structure and a financial structure. When it comes to professional sports, you don't do the same thing with people who decide not to be on stage on Broadway, or if they're feeling sick and they can't do a concert when it comes to being a singer. They don't attach that so much to them, but it's really easy to attach that to pro athletes because those are the ones you see. And if you don't see them, why can't you do that when you know what you signed up for? Based on their memory and also their mindset is clouded by the money that they see going to professional sports.
Or the words of the use of the word, like all celebrities, right? Like celebrities. So it's like, look, there are loopholes in a lot of bylaws if you pay attention to it. It's like, well, you didn't pay your taxes. Well, some guy found some loopholes to get out of his taxes, which I would behoove you to do the same if you can find it out.
Yeah, because we talk about not paying our taxes, but a lot of us don't actually do it. We pay our taxes.
Exactly.
We're not trying to go to jail.
So, like, it's the thing, though. It's like, so, like, some of these things occur, and you hear players. And what is load management? Who does that really pertain to, Freddie? Because I hear the blanket term used.
I never hear it with NFL, MLB.
But also, like, who are the players it pertains to in the NBA?
Well, they attach it to LeBron James all the time. And he's the one that's not load managing. He's the opposite of it. Right. They usually attach it to him. The guy that is supposed to be attached to, in my opinion, is Kawhi Leonard. Because that's why I first heard this term.
So why do we keep using it as if it pertains to every player in the league?
Because Kawhi Leonard is not a polarizing figure compared to LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Kawhi Leonard doesn't give a bleep what people have to say. He's shown that. How many times have we not heard anything from Kawhi Leonard?
It's like, so if I roll my ankle, right, and all of a sudden I'm playing, like, I have a grade 3 sprain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because Shaq comes down on my ankle.
Yeah.
Which has happened to me before. Shaq came down on my ankle.
I know. We almost lost you.
So, yeah. I almost was not here. Praise the Lord Jesus. Right? So, all of a sudden, if I'm on a back-to-back and I'm like, man, I tried to give it a go the first game.
Yeah.
But then the second game, I can walk. It doesn't behoove me to try to go again.
Yeah.
Like, if I am I load managing? Like, is that the negative connotation, or am I trying to ensure that I can play more games later by not putting on more of a load now if I'm trying to come off injury? What's the timeline around what my comeback should be off an injury?
And that's something that's not just your decision.
And a lot of people that are talking about load management haven't played 82 games before. So, like, I hear it. I understand it. Once again, as a fan, I'm not comparing the workload of somebody who's doing construction every day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. I've seen that's different. That's way different. But like this is also a different level of where, I hear what fans are saying, like, oh, we pay your salary. You pay about 8 or 9% of the salary. It's a lot of TV money now. That even without fans, we would still be having games going on.
We got LeBron James, and I'm sure he will go back to the 90s and be a little bit healthier. He's going to be out weeks based on the foot injury that happened on Sunday. What are your thoughts on the Lakers' chances when it comes to the near future making the playoffs?
Morning, Freddie. Good morning, JWill.
Morning, Monica.
Good morning, Monica.
Way to start the segment. Listen, I never had them getting into that 6th seed off the break. Do I think this is a team that can still be a 9-10? Yes. I think it is an incredible opportunity for Anthony Davis, and I love the sound that we came in with, JWill, because it may be somewhat counterintuitive to expect him to be the guy that now leads this ship. However, I do think it's a legitimate opportunity. 9-10 to me is not out of the question for them, even without LeBron. I mean, we got to see what happens with the T-Wolves in terms of their injuries. I don't expect Utah to hold where they are.
Right.
And Anthony Davis is an MVP caliber type of talent. Can you do this in, obviously, the most pivotal stretch of this regular season, but in a small sample size as we come down the stretch? I think it's an incredible opportunity for him to reinforce that he is something, or someone, I should say, that the Lakers should be looking to build around, because he's probably got more left in the tank than LeBron, I would think.
Monica, I typically and always see eye to eye with you on a lot of different subjects, but I have to really disagree with you on this.
Okay.
I can't say anymore and will not say anymore that Anthony Davis is an MVP type of talent. I can't. I used to. The line, he's a top 5 talent in the league, his MVP talent are things that I used to say. I can't say that anymore because MVP talent to me are people that can carry franchises and pull them, from the trenches. And I don't think I look at Anthony Davis like that anymore. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't equate to him not getting paid, big time money, because I think that the talent does deserve money. And this is a scarcity type situation in business where you need talent and you have to grab talent. But I don't think I see him that way anymore. Is that okay for me to push back on that comment that you made, or do you still see him as an MVP talent?
I think you are accurate in that assessment, Jay. Here's what I'm saying, though. I still think the MVP talent potential is in there. Now, this also becomes where potential is a backhanded compliment, because it means you have not achieved what's already there, right? And so, yes, his track record, he has not been able to do that. But we've seen it in flashes, and so it's still in there. But if you were unwilling to still consider him in that category, I totally get that. I still buy that it's in there. Will it ever come to full fruition? I'm not sure. But if ever there was a window of time for him to do it with literally 20, yesterday was 21, 20 games left, this is far different than asking you to step into it for now an 82-game season. And so if we're going to get a flash of it, a bright flash of it, this is now the opportunity in my mind.
I agree. So I just want to set the record straight. Our bar is now that we're asking AD, who has MVP-like talent inside of him, which I agree with you, inside, whether it translates or not is a different story. We're asking him to carry the Lakers to the 10th seed.
To the postseason. Say it differently, Jay. To the postseason.
10th seed, postseason, tomato, potato.
It's really not the postseason. It's the play-in to get to the postseason.
The postseason.
That's what we're doing with the second-tier talent for the Lakers. Like, just think about what we're saying out loud, Monica. I hear it. It's just it's mind-boggling to me that we're asking that. Like, that's the expectation.
Now, okay, so I think you gotta take a step back a little bit. We gotta see the whole forest and not just the tree on this one.
All right.
The hole that the Lakers are in this season because of the poor roster construction, Freddie and Jay, that everybody in basketball could see 2 years ago, or at least a year ago for sure, is not per se AD's fault. Now, if LeBron is healthy and this team came into the season looking like this, do you buy that they are in a position to be fighting for a play-in spot?
Yes, if LeBron is healthy, and yes.
No, after the trade deadline team. So you don't think the post-trade deadline team is a team that would have actually been solidified in the West?
No, I think they would. I think they could have got to the 6th seed.
Okay.
I think they could have got to the
Right,
6th
and so I think the forest is bad roster construction, health issues, and here we are now talking about their second-tier talent making a push in 20 games to go to the postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's been an ongoing theme though, Monica. You know, like
That's
I feel
true.
like for LeBron James, his 5 years with the Lakers, other than the bubble, it's been that theme of like health issues and whether AD's available, what's going on with him. And each year, I mean, LeBron James, the last 2 years, his minutes have gone up, and we keep asking LeBron James to do more, and they haven't really provided the right pieces around him. So that to me is more a reflection on management than anything.
I think you and I agree, but here we are sitting in this situation, right?
Yeah.
And so what is something that could give this Lakers organization hope to salvage this season? To me, they need to see an Anthony Davis that shows, hey, I can do this potentially without LeBron. Now, how much do you buy again a 20-game sample season?
Yeah.
I don't know, but at least to me, that is more productive than them flopping around another injury and they don't even get into the play-in.
Yeah, that's the last thing Lakers fans want to hear. Flopping around an injury next to Anthony Davis. They've seen enough of that to last a lifetime.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.